Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Kiwi Bushcraft and Survival. I'm Glenn Vickery, and today we're going to be talking about the one of the buck sharpeners. It's called the Buck Edgetek Ultra Flipstik Diamond Sharpening Rod. Okay, basically it's a sharpening rod. Okay, from Buck. All right. So anyway, this is going to be a unboxing and just a little bit of a talk about some of the extra info on this particular sharpener. It's a new sharpener that I just purchased yesterday. I haven't tried it out yet, and I hadn't seen any other videos on YouTube or anything else about it. Very limited information. So I thought I'd do a quick unboxing and a quick talk about it. So let's get into it. Okay, so it came in this box here. Let's bring it up a little bit closer so people can see. So if you want to pause and read anything on it, you can. Made in the USA. Number for it, if anyone's interested. This is just the box that came in it, so I'm not sure if this is the actual box. Yep, this is the actual box it comes in. Okay, so the actual number for this particular item is 97044-B. Okay, let's open her up. So this is the actual item itself, the sharpener. This is just the receipt. Cost me $69.90 in New Zealand. Okay, $69.90 New Zealand dollars, and I bought this one from Top Gear in the North Shore. It comes with a lifetime warranty. Okay, here's the lifetime warranty here. If you wanna, I'll just move my fingers out of the way in case someone wants to read that. Okay, and then on the back of the card, it's the back of the card there. Alright, that's a lifetime warranty, which I quite liked about it. And then it comes with the Buck instructions. Okay, scroll that up in case anybody ends up with this particular item and doesn't have the instruction manual on it. Okay, and for those that I'm not quite sure what this language is here on the back here, maybe German or something else, I don't know, I haven't looked at it. Okay, so hopefully you got that, if you're keen on that. Okay, the item itself is the handle here and everything is made of polypropylene. Okay, and the item in the closed position, I'll see if I can get this up by the camera a little better. Okay, is approximately 127 millimeters to 129 millimeters, you know, which is 12.7 centimeters. Okay, lengthwise. Width, at the bottom end, you can see at the bottom end is a little bit thicker at this end here, so we'll measure that. That is measuring at the diameter is 30 millimeters or 3 centimeters in diameter, and on the skinnier end it has a hole on it here. Okay, that there is approximately looks about approximately 22 millimeters or 2.2 centimeters, okay, on the skinnier end. That's what it looks like in the at the thick end, okay, and at the skinny end it's got the hole there, alright, which is good because that hole can allow any moisture, any water to flow out. Alright, on the actual item itself, it has the name, the buck. You can see buck there on the side, and that there, another, I think it's a anvil, I'm not sure, on the other side of the item. Okay, let's have a look. To undo the item, what we have to do is grab the thick end here, okay, when my hand is moving, and we need to turn it anti-clockwise. Turn this part anti-clockwise and hold this other main part, and you'll hear it click, and then we just pull it out, okay. And so what we were doing there is, if you have a look here, you can see there's a L shape here, and it was actually locked in place. So if I push it back in, okay, and then I push it in and turn it clockwise, it'll lock in place, and then I can't pull it out now, so it locks in place. Alright, so again, to take it off, we need to turn it anti-clockwise. You'll hear it click, and it will come out. And there's another 2 of these here on the other side. So there's, as I go around, there's one there and one there. So there's a total of 3. So if I show you on an angle here, you should be able to see there's 3 locking L-shaped engravings in there, okay, cutouts, alright, where it can lock in. And obviously, if you're looking into here, you'll see those like propeller pieces there, okay, that's where it'll lock in. So you've got a total of 6 propeller shapes in here, okay, so, and you only need 3, so if 3 were to break at some stage, you'd still have 3 where you can still lock it, okay. From the other side, looking at it like that, you can see the 6 propeller shapes down the far end, okay. Alright, so for the this piece here, it's just an empty piece. There's nothing else on the inside there, okay. Alright, and for the actual sharpening piece, it's like so. Alright, so with these 2 pieces here, what we simply do is once we've taken it out, okay, we turn it around, okay, and the cover here will now act as a handle. So we push it in, click it into place, into the L's, and you now have it as a sharpening rod, okay. The polypropylene handle or plastic is very solid, okay. I'm squeezing on it now, and there's no way that feels like it'll break. I can feel a little bit of a bend in it, okay, but there's no way you're going to be holding onto it that hard. Polypropylene or polyprop is a very strong plastic, okay, very, very strong, and if it did break, it's a lifetime warranty anyway. How do you get the lifetime warranty? You have to sign up on the Buck website, okay, and if it broke at any stage, you just send in the details, keep your receipt, send in the receipt, and well, send in a copy of the receipt and the item itself. Okay, how long is this open? Let's check it out. Bring it in front of the camera so you can sort of see. Alright. Okay. So it is approximately 20 23, let's see if I can get that in shot, 23 centimeters, okay, 23 centimeters long, fully open, okay, which is 230 millimeters long, okay. The blade, or the sharpening, diamond sharpening part of the rod looks like 10, almost 10.5 centimeters, okay. So if I can just move this, about 10.5 centimeters long for the actual sharpening blade. That's, let me lock this, that there is also including this plastic piece on the end here, okay. So if I take the plastic piece off, away from the measurement, we're probably looking at around about, I would say, 9.7 centimeters long for the actual sharpening rod itself. 9.7 centimeters long, or 97 millimeters long. Okay, I'll just bring that up into shot a bit better. Okay, the handle itself, when it's attached, let's see if I can get that into shot. I'll just have a look myself first. Is 12.7, about 12.7 centimeters, okay, for the actual handle. 12.7, which is 127 millimeters long for the actual handle when it's attached. Okay, so there's a few measurements for you. Let's do the actual sharpener itself. The width of it, we're talking 1.1 to 1.2 centimeters, okay, across. So it's about 11 to 12 millimeters, so 1.2 centimeters, okay. And obviously that would be the same for all three sides, okay. Okay, let's move that measuring tape to the side. Okay, what we have on here is, because this is the Ultra Flipstik, it has 3 sharpening rods on it, okay, or 3 sharpening surfaces. It has on the first surface here is a coarse surface, or the roughest side, okay, and that is 325 coarse, okay, 325. So the lower the number, the more coarse, or the more rougher the sharpener is, okay. So if it was, let's say, 120, it would be rougher than this, okay. 325 is generally something when you need to resharpen quite drastically a blade that's pretty bad, okay. So 325 coarse side, okay. And on here, on this plastic, just trying to read it, okay, up on the plastic tip here, it says number 1. It's got a little number 1 on it. I don't know if you can see it. I'll bring this in. It's got a little number 1 at the top, and then just underneath the number 1, it's got written coarse, okay, just down the bottom here where my finger's pointing. So number 1 and then coarse, okay. If we flip it over, try and keep in shot. If we flip it over, it'll say number 2, medium, okay. And then if we flip it over again, it should say number 3, fine, right underneath the number 3, fine, okay. So coarse, the coarse side here, number 1 is 325 coarse. Then the next one over, number 2 is, sorry, over here, number 1 is 325 coarse. We flip it over. The next side here is 750 medium grain. Okay, so 325 grain, 750 grain medium, and then the number 3 is the 1200 grain, which is fine. Okay, a fine grain. Alright, so the good thing about this particular item is that having the 325 coarse grain means that we can, if we have a reasonably blunt knife, we can sharpen it up. Okay, that means it'll be fairly bad. Okay, if it was really bad, we'd have to go even lower than that. Okay, but with a 325, we could spend a little bit of time on it if we needed to, half an hour, whatever, to sharpen that blade up. And then what we would do is we'd flip it over and we'd go to the number 2, which is the 750, and that would fine tune it. Okay, that would get the blade sharp that it's cutting well. Okay, all right, and then the last one would be the number 3, fine, at 112. Sorry, not 112, at 1200 or 1200 grit. Okay, and that would really fine tune your blade. Okay, so that's it there. You don't really need this plastic piece on top to tell you, because you can feel it. The coarse 325 is quite rough. Then obviously if you are using that and you flip it over to the flip it over anti-clockwise, you'll have the 750 grain, and then flip it over anti-clockwise again and you'll have the fine side. So as long as you're flipping it over anti-clockwise each time, you'll get to the next grain. Okay, pretty good. So that's a decent size length there. Now, how much does it weigh? Okay, I'll just turn on my scales here. I'll let them warm up a little bit. Make sure I've got it on grams. Okay, that's cool. Okay, now when I looked at this online, it said that the weight was 179.7 grams. Okay, and I thought, geez, that's quite heavy. But because this is such a good tool, as far as, I've never tried it, but as far as what it's offering, I was prepared to carry the weight. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it back in its case. Alright, so when we put it back in, we push it in, feel the L, alright, and then lock it in place and it won't come out. Alright, if I'm pulling on it, won't come out. Okay, let's put this onto the, I don't know if you can see the measurement there. I'll see if I can zoom this in a little bit. I don't know if you can see it, you might be able to. Alright, and let's plonk this on. Okay, so online it says, as I said, 179.7 grams. But on here it's reading 81.63 grams. Okay, so online, from what I can see, the website that I bought it from, Top Gear is needs to be changed. Okay, they've got it almost double, well, just over double the weight. Okay, so this is actually reading 81.61 grams. Alright, so that's a lot lighter than what I thought it would be. Okay, just come back a bit. See if you can, I'm not sure if you can see that. Might be too yeah, you should be able to see that from there. 81.60. Anyway, let's come back. Okay, so it's all good. Alright, so the lighter the better, obviously. What else about this here? It's made in the USA, as you could see from the box. Okay, made in the USA, which is great. Now the material, as I said, the handle is made of polypropylene, which is very strong, quite strong, but the material on the actual the rod here is diamond. Okay, so the surface of the rod, okay, each surface here is 100% diamond. Okay, and that means that they haven't added anything else to the surface of the sharpener. All right, it's just diamonds as on the surface, so that's a good thing. And coming from Buck, Buck's got quite a good name for itself, where the quality of its gear, which is good. So I can pretty much, without, even though I said I haven't used this yet, it should be pretty good, I'm assuming. Okay, what can we use on this here? We could use it by itself. We don't need to use water or oil or any other lubricant when we're sharpening. Because it's diamond, we can just use it by itself. Okay, it's not a whetstone or anything else like that. So if I wanted to just pull this out to sharpen my any one of my knives or my axe or whatever, tomahawk, okay, we could just use it straight off the bat. Okay, and the strokes should be nice and light. Okay, nice and light strokes. All right, you don't want to do it too hard, because as I said, it is a diamond surface. And if you're, I'll just grab this knife here, if you would like digging right into this too hard, okay, you could pick up the pieces of diamond that are either glued in or cemented in, or however they're put into this. If you're doing it too hard, you could be picking up those pieces of diamond and ripping them out, okay, because it's only the surface of these tools that are diamond. The whole thing's not made of diamond, otherwise it'd be cost you a fortune to purchase them. So it's just the surface. So you don't want to be doing it too hard where you're ripping the pieces of diamond out, okay, because you'll be causing problems with your sharpener then, which will cause issues with your knife when you're sharpening it. So you just want to glide it across, okay, to sharpen your knife. Now, diamond is one of the most strongest materials on the planet, okay, and it's much stronger and harder than any metal. All right, so when the whole idea with sharpening is that this here, the sharpener needs to be a stronger material than the knife that you're sharpening, okay, and because this is a stronger material than the knife, okay, when you go like that, you're going to take metal off the knife and sharpen it. Okay, so as I said, you can do it without, you don't need any water on this. You don't need any water on this. You don't need oil or any other lubricant. Okay, however, it is optional. Okay, it's recommended that if you do use a lubricant, water is better than anything else. Can you use other lubricants? Yeah, you can, but it's recommended that you just use water. What will the lubricant do? It will actually, the lubricant actually helps to fill in the micro gaps between the diamonds and everything else, which helps to slide, as you slide the knife across it, okay, it's because you're filling in the gaps between there, it's going to slide across easier, okay, alright, it's going to slide across easier, alright. Now, something else I want to bring up about this particular sharpener is that the surface of each, the coarse, the medium and the fine, the surface is not flat, okay, it's not flat, it's actually curved, alright, so the surface of this is not flat, it's actually curved. So I'll see if you can, I'll bring this straight up to the camera, alright, and see if you can see that, okay, it's actually curved, it's not flat, so each one is curved, and so you can, hopefully you can see that. I don't know if I'm getting a good enough angle of it. But each one is curved. Alright? So, the good thing about that is that this particular item, where a normal sharpening steel or sharpening rod is normally round, okay, it's normally just circular, that part there, circular, alright. However, because it's like still roundish, when you get your knife, depending on how you want to use this, okay, if you were like just running it across here, like so, alright, all you got to do is find the angle of the bevel of the knife and you can sharpen like so, okay. Like myself, I prefer to use a sharpening rod, right, rather than a flat stone. I'd prefer to use a rod. Right. So, really important with these is that, I know we're doing an unboxing, but I just want to cover a couple of things. Is when you pull this here down, we're doing it gently as I said, and you don't drag this tip down like that. You're not dragging it down. If you're going to bring the knife off, just bring it off without, you don't want to bring it down and hold on and slide it off the bottom, because what you're going to do is you're going to curve the end of your tip if you're doing that each time. If you're bringing it off and dragging it down like that. I'm slightly exaggerating it, but don't do that, okay? There's nothing wrong with coming down and just bringing the knife off, okay, as long as you're not curving it, okay? You can bring it down and just stop there, that's fine, okay? That's probably a better way of doing it, to bring it there, alright, and stop there. But as long as you bring it here and lift it off, I'm exaggerating it again, I'm exaggerating the motion of lifting it off, okay? Now this particular knife here is blunt as a pancake, right? It's shocking. I just grabbed it out of the kitchen drawer and it's blunt as. I'll check it. It wasn't even cutting paper before, it was just sliding off it like you're going down a slide. Okay, that's at least cutting it now. I should have done this before I brought this here out, but it was like having the back. I'll do the back of it. It was doing this. That's how it was doing it before. Okay, alright, and I'm not even trying to sharpen it properly, so that sharpener is working a lot better. This wasn't even cutting earlier. You just have to take my word for it. Okay, so even though I haven't even been using this properly, alright, it's actually started sharpening it, which is great. Now, when you hold this, you should preferably hold your thumb, okay, here over your finger like that, okay, when you're using a sharpening rod. I see a lot of people holding their thumb coming around and wrapping around the handle like that, okay. That's a bad thing, okay. If you were to come down here and miss, now let me just take a step back. This here does have a little bit of a lip here, okay, at the bottom here, alright, a bit of a protection guard to protect your hand, okay. And let's just measure that. And come up to here. Let's just measure that guard, but we're looking at approximately, I would say, close to 7, probably 6 to 7 millimeters. Okay, I'd say probably close to 6. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and bring that in shot. Where are we? There. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, but we're looking at close to 6 to 7 millimeters from the file itself, from the sharpener itself to the edge here, okay, of the handle. Alright, so you've got about 7 millimeter clearance from when you are coming down here and getting to there for hitting. So between where the knife is there and the top of the handle, the guard, from there to there, you've got, from there to there, you've got about 7 millimeters of guard there, which is pretty good. But if you miss that and hit your thumb, you're gonna cut in and hit potential bone. Alright? Now that's a lot better hitting here and hitting bone than it is if I had my thumb there and coming through and hitting in there. You're going to be cutting right through a lot deeper into your hand, okay, and start probably hitting tendons and everything else, okay, which is not good. It's going to be a far deeper, far worse cut if you come off, come over here and hit into there, okay. That's bad. So that's why we have our thumb there. So when we come down, if you do hit something, it's only going to go as far as the bone, alright, and stop, okay. Alright, with that, it's going to go real deep. Bad, bad, bad. Alright, so try and keep your thumb over it, like so. Okay, it's completely up to you. It's a risk you take. Alright, so how can we use this? You could use it coming down like that. Okay, and then coming back this way if you wanted to. Alright, and remember we're just gliding it across the diamond. Find the right bevel, the right angle, okay, and go to there. You could lock this down on a table, lock your arm in if you want, get your arm really solid so this is not shaking around everywhere. You want to get it solid, okay, because otherwise it's messing with your angle. Okay, you can hear it cutting in to the bevel. Okay, so you could do it that way, or you could do it like this. Cross, turn it, hang on, go boom, boom. Okay, that's probably the easiest way, keeping it there. Alright, easy. If you really wanted to, you could have it like so. Have your finger here, go one, alright, turn it, and then do the other side, 2. Turn, boom, turn, get the other side, bang, turn, alright, then turn this to there if you wanted to, and then do the other side, okay, just like you're using a normal sharpening, rod like that, but you'd need to turn it, so you'd have to go 1, turn this coarse side over to there, and then do the other side of the blade. You could do that if you wanted to, but it's probably just as easy going like that, okay. It depends on how you want to do it, okay, it's completely optional. But if you're going to be turning it, you're probably going to have your thumb open on the wrong side, okay. It's safer to probably just go like this, although if you do it like this, you're then having to, you've got this guard a little bit in your way, okay. But you could use that if you wanted to help guide where your bevel is, okay. But I prefer just to go off touch rather than using a guide, okay. The angle of this needs to be a little bit lower. This actually gets in my way, so I lose probably about 15 millimeters, a centimeter and a half. All right, if I'm going up on here. Okay. Now, with this particular item, like most diamond sharpeners, okay, or most sharpeners, there's a break-in period. All right, so I would need to probably get couple of blunt knives and sharpen them on this, and what it will do is it will take a layering of the sharpener off, okay, and then once I've broken it in this is actually not a very good knife. I've just seen it's got a little bit of a dented tip on the end there. You probably see that dent there. Not very good for this. I'm going to have to bend that into shape. Someone's been using this knife for something, trying to bend it into something. That's not good for this. Okay, you want to sharpen about 2 or 3 knives with the coarse side, the medium side, and the fine side. You want to sharpen about 3 knives to break this in. Okay, and you might see parts coming off, especially on the coarse side. Okay, and maybe on the medium side, the surface of some of this is going to come off. That doesn't mean it's wearing out. Okay, what that means is that you're just getting it to where it should be. Okay, and then after that you'd keep using it, and this will last you a lifetime. Okay, as long as you're just gliding the blade across the knife. Okay, since I've been using this one, I'm just going to do a little bit of sharpening on the medium side now, the 350. Okay, even though this knife has got I'm just going to stop it before it gets to the tip of this knife, because I don't want that bent tip to damage the sharpener. Alright, so you could do it one for each side, or you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever you want to do. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's up to you how you want to do it. Okay, the good thing is that this has a curve on each of the sides. Now while I'm doing this on the 750 grit, a lot of people carry 1 stone out with them in the bush, and it will be around about between 600 and 800 grit. Okay, medium. Alright, some companies that sell sharpeners, they have different numbers for their, they'll class, say, 600 to 800 as a fine grit. Okay, but 600 to 800 is not a fine grit. 600 to 800 will be about a medium grit. Okay, but they'll try and trick you. Alright, and they'll say no, I shouldn't say they're trying to trick you, that's just how they've done it. Alright, so you want to make sure that you understand what grit it is when they say it's fine or medium or whatever, or coarse. Okay, but this one here is 750. A lot of people will just carry out an 800, 600 to 800 grit. Okay, and that's all they'll use out in the bush. But the problem with that, it's a good grit to carry out, don't get me wrong, but it's for basically touching up your knife, retouching it up. Okay, not really. Some people will say honing their knife, but it's not really, it's just touching it up. Okay, it's sort of, in a way, 800 is still sort of sharpening your knife in a way, right? Very lightly, but what if their knife gets really blunt? Gets blunt to the point where it's, earlier on I couldn't even cut this paper at all. I did about 10 cuts along it, and it wouldn't cut it. That's when you want the 350 or 325, something down there. If you lose your knife and you find somebody else's knife in the bush, you know, at a house or whatever, in a survival situation, and you need to sharpen that knife up, you're going to want a better a coarse grit, about 325 like this one. Perfect. Okay, for sharpening that blade up, getting an edge on it. And then the 725 or 750 here, should I say, just to get it tuned in. Okay, get it reasonably sharper. Alright, let's just try that out. I'm only mucking around, I'm not actually trying to sharpen it. It's more about the reboxing and a little bit of a talk about this sharpener. see that. Okay, it's cutting, but it's more sort of grabbing a little bit still. Okay, it's not the best of knives this, but it's just a kitchen knife. Right, it is cutting. Right, so let's go on to the, I'd probably do that for a bit longer on this one. Okay, and let's go to the fine. Now the fine here is 1200. I'm not going right to the end because I don't want that damaged piece of this knife to damage the sharpener, and it will certainly damage it. Okay, I've got to bend that back into shape. Someone's bent it. I'm not going right to the edge. And again, we're just gliding it along, finding the bevel. Right, that means finding the right angle to the blade. Okay. And this 1200 is going to allow you to really get it's really starting to polishing the bevel on your knife, or the fine edge blade on your knife, and the more polished your blade is, the less scratches there are on it. That wasn't good, I just went right across it there. Okay, the less scratches there are on the bevel, on the sharp part of your blade, okay, and the better it'll cut then. Alright. Okay, that's not perfect by any means. Like I said, this blade was blunt as a pancake. Okay, we'll try that. You want some cheese and toast? Not perfect, but it's cutting. It's not even cutting. Alright, well, it's cutting. Okay, I'd obviously spend a lot longer on this than what I've done. Okay, but this is just the first night for breaking this in. Okay, and I'll probably tidy this tip up and then do it properly. Okay, but cutting in, but it certainly will allow you to cut. Okay, will it cut with a bigger? How will it work on a larger knife? Let's grab my knife out. Okay, so now we've got a proper knife. So this knife here is probably about just over 4 inches long, the blade, and it's razor sharp. Okay, I sharpened this up on another rod. So I'm just going to do it on the fine side because it's probably, I think I did this one on a up to about a 1300 grit. Okay, and then I stropped it as well. Okay, so this one here. You could do it that way. Alright. This was sharp anyway, this one. I won't strop it, but okay, for this. Pretty shit, really. Anyway, okay, so that's the what we call it, the Buck Ultra sharpening rod, okay, Flipstik, and so this is going to be my main sharpener from now on. Okay, once I've broken it in, it should be all good. Where am I going to put it? Okay, this was the sharpening rod that stone that I was using, a Lansky 600 grit, I believe. Okay, but I'm going to be putting this one here into my sheath on the front here. Okay, the problem is it won't fit. Okay, the tab here, the lid, just won't reach down and touch the Velcro here. So what I've done is I got a little bit of extra webbing from in my bits and pieces, okay, painted it up, and I'm going to get my sewing awl out. For those that don't know what a sewing awl have a look on my website, on my YouTube site, and I show you how to use it. And all I'm going to do is sew it onto here, and that will come down, and it'll be sort of somewhat like that, alright, where this will be like attached like so, alright, and it will be, grab something like that, okay, and this part here, I'll probably cut some of this part off. Alright, and I'll be able to hold that on, which is quite cool. Alright, and then obviously I might even be able to fit in my leather strop on the inside of this pouch as well. I should be able to, otherwise that'll have to go somewhere else. So, the reason for that is this is just a little bit too long. Okay, I mean it's all good though. It's all good. So this is just the first time I've used it, so I'm not 100% got to get it in my get a feel for it, but this is going to work perfectly for me, and I might do a review, a proper review of it once I've gotten used to it and broken it in. Okay, but that's the Buck Ultra Flipstik diamond sharpening rod, Edgetek, it's called, Buck Edgetek, and hope you learned something new and actually got a video out there of it, the only one that I know of, proper decent one. Okay, thanks for coming along, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers, bye bye.